Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. In today's class, we are going to do part 2 diversity in living organism, that is nature, scope and meaning of zoology. Let's begin. What is biology? Bio means life, logy means study. That means it is a science that deals with the study of living organism. Science progresses by breaking down complex subject. What is a complex subject over here? That is biology. So biology is being broken down into different components. What are the different components? We'll see in the branches of biology. So basically we have three components or three branches, that is botany, zoology and microbiology. In chat section write and tell me botany is for what, zoology is for what and microbiology is for which organisms. What is definition of zoology? Zoo means animal, logy means study. That means we study the animal. It deals with the study of various aspects of animal. It starts from, see, when you study the animal kingdom, we'll start with the phylum. Now this phylum starts with phylum Porifera, and one of the example of phylum Porifera is sponges. That's why I have written over here. To mammals. What are mammals? Write in the chat box and tell me what are mammals. It comes under class Mammalia. So mammals are nothing but who has mammary gland and who has hair on the body. These are the two main characteristics of the mammal. Obviously, you will be having many more. The aim is to explain why are we studying zoology? To explain the animal world in a scientific way. Okay. Now, zoology as a pure science, studied for the knowledge gaining, has applications in many fields. For example, genetics, we deal with the genes. Then bio means life, technology means right? So using techniques and using living organism, we made product which is helpful for the human. Right, so we make product using technology for human welfare. This branch of science we call it as biotechnology. Then we have bioenergetics and bioinformatics. We deal with the computer. What is euphenics and eugenics? In eugenics, gene is coming. That means we are going to deal with the improve the human gene pool. We are going to deal with the human gene pool. That's it. Nothing more you have to know about this, right? And euphenics first coming now, that means we are talking about the improving the phenotypic expression. So here we are improving the genotypic expression and here we are improving the phenotypic expressions. I hope you know what is genotypic and phenotypic. Please write it in the comment box and let me know if you know about it or not. Now, zoology as an applied science, tremendous scope in the field such as what are the scopes of zoology? So it is nothing but your agriculture. Agriculture is for plants. Aquaculture, aqua means water. It is for basically for fish. Obviously you will have prawn and many other. Right? Animal husbandry means taking care of animal. Human health you already know. Disease you already know. Veterinary science, it means we deal with the animals, right? If you have pet dogs, you go to the hospital. That hospital we call it as veterinary hospital, right? Apiculture, apiculture deals with the bee culture. That means we are more into the culture of the honeybees. Okay. Now sericulture, that means we will do the culturing of the silkworm for the production of silk. Pharmacology, pharma means drugs. We are talking about the drugs. So for the production of the drugs, we deal with the pharmacology. And then we have animal breeding. Breeding means reproduction. So for our benefit, we breed animals who have the dominant character. Right? So here you can see this is an example of aquaculture, sericulture and apiculture. Branches of zoology. Origin of biology. Who coined the term? Coined by Lamarck. Lamarck coined the term biology. Who was Lamarck? He was the French biologist. In the chat section, tell me that where have you heard this word before? Biology means already we have seen it is study of living organism. What is the nature of zoology? Zoology is very diverse. It deals with all the aspects of animal life. Has several sub branches. So what are the sub branches? We are going to deal with the sub branches one by one. So one is your taxonomy, then morphology, cytology, physiology, embryology, evolution, paleontology, ecology, genetics and ethology. I'm sure you must have heard some of the sub branches of the zoology, but 2-3 you might not be knowing. So let's deal with it in detail. Let's go with the taxonomy. What is taxonomy? Taxus means arrangement and norm means rule. So you are going to do arrangement of an organism based on the certain scientific rules. Who had coined this word? A.P.D. Kendall has coined the word taxonomy. What is the definition of taxonomy? Theory and practice of identification, nomenclature and classification of organism. We call it it as taxonomy. So basically what is taxonomy? It is nothing but arrangement of an organism based on the rules. Then what is morphology? Morpho means it is given form and logy means study. So study of form or size or shape or color or the structure of any organisms or their tissue, organ system, we call it as morphology. Now morphology includes two types, that is external morphology, internal morphology. When I say external means outside, study of the external character, we call it as external morphology. Then what is internal morphology? Obviously which is present inside, right? It deals with the internal structure. Now internal structure deals with anatomy. Usually class morphology we say, whenever I say morphology it means external character, whenever I say anatomy it means internal character. But in your textbook it has said in this way that internal morphology is nothing but anatomy and histology. So you have to read in this way, right? Anatomy means study of internal arrangement of, what do we see? Internal arrangement with what is present? Ice cream is present? No, obviously not. Organ system, all these things are present. So we are going to study these, right? Anna means up, tome means cutting. Then what is histology? Hista word we use for the tissue. So histos means tissue, logy means study. So what do? We do study of the tissue, study of the tissue. Then what is cytology? Cyto means cell, logy means study. Obviously you can write now. What is it? It is the study of cell. In cell what do you study? Study of form, study of structure of cell and about the cell organelles. Why we have to do the study of cell? Why we have to go for cytology? Because when we study about the cell and cell structure, we can better understand about the function of the cell, right? Now, relation of cell biology. Cell biology is a branch of science that deals with cell. And what is cell? It is the structural and functional unit of living organisms. Right? Now, the next one is physiology. Physiology, what is the definition of physiology? It is nothing but the study of different body function and process. So your body is performing certain function. These functions, how it is being performed, how that while performing that function, what all processes are happening, this we call it as physiology. So physics means nature of functioning and logy means study. So study of how function occurs, we call it as physiology. Focus on physiology, study of different body function and examination of various biological process. Obviously, if any function is happening, it happens only and only due to the process which is happening inside. When I say process means, a simple example if I want to give you, it is nothing but the chemical activities which are happening inside. That is your metabolism, right? Due to this metabolism, what will happen? The different functions or different process will occur inside our body. The next is embryology or the development, right? Development. Now, embryology, if I say, embryology is nothing but embryo means, that is, after zygote, whatever is there, that we call it as embryo. That means development of zygote, we call it as embryo, right? Embryon. That is embryon means embryo and logy means study. It defines as a branch of biology that deals with the formation and development of embryo. That means just now I told you zygote is, write it in the comment box and tell me zygote is one cell or many cells. So from the zygote we get, now the cleavage of zygote will happen, due to this we get many cells, right? So from these many cells the whole organism is formed. The whole organism is formed. How that had happened? By formation and development of the embryo. By the development of embryo, whole organism is formed. So is there any problem in the development of embryo? That's what we study in the embryology. So what are stages we have? What are things we focus on the embryology? First is fertilization. What is fertilization? It is nothing but fusion of gametes. That means fusion of sperm and ova. What is cleavage? Cleavage is a special type of mitosis. Special type of mitosis. Why am I saying special type of mitosis? Because in mitosis, if in a cell division or cell cycle, we have stages G1, S, G2 and M phase, that is mitosis. Now this G1 and G2 is called as growth 1 and growth 2. That means your cell will grow in size also, because internally growth is occurring. But during cleavage, G1 and G2 phase is absent, so the cell size will not increase. That's why we call it as special type of mitosis. Only the number of cell increase inside the body, but the cell size won't increase. Then what is gastrulation? Gastrulation is nothing but formation of 3 germ layers, or I can say 2 germ layers, because in upcoming classes we will see some organisms have only 2 germ layers and some organisms have all the 3 layers, right? So gastrulation is nothing but formation of germ layer, formation of germ layer, we call it as gastrulation. Organ formation, you can understand there will be the formation of organs. So these all four things we are going to study when we talk about the embryology, right? Now, what is embryo class? Zygote is going to transform into embryo, right? Scope, what is the scope of it? Formation, early growth and development of the living organism, study of organism development from fertilization to the fetus stage. So it is very, very important class to understand this development of the embryo, because if anything fault happen in the this development of the embryo, then the organism will not be perfect. Some or the other defect will be there in the organisms, right? Here you can see how sperm is fertilizing the ova, and here you can see the structure. This is the zygote, and then you can see the cleavage over here. It is 8 cell, and here you can see blastula. What are blastula and all we will see in the next class. Gastrulation means that there is a formation of 3 layers, and here you can see endoderm, ectoderm, and mesoderm is not shown over here. So gastrulation is the formation of germ layer, right? What are germ layer class? See here. Ectoderm, ecto means outside, meso means middle one, endo means inner one, right? So we have 3 germ layer class from which the whole organism is formed. These 3 germ layers are ecto, meso and endoderm. Here organ formation one example is given. See, why do we have these 3 specific germ layer? Because these 3 germ layers are responsible for the formation of organ or organ system. For example, if I talk about the ectoderm, ectoderm is going to form the outer body covering, for example your skin. It is also going to form your nervous system, but ectoderm is not going to form your muscle or blood vessel. It is specific for the ectoderm to form nervous system or the skin. What about the mesoderm? Mesoderm is going to form, these are the few examples class, many more are there, right? Mesoderm is going to form muscle, bone and blood vessel. What about the endoderm? Endoderm is going to form the lining of your gut, that is nothing but gastrointestinal tract, right? Respiratory lining is also formed by the endoderm. Correct. Now, what is developmental biology? Developmental biology is nothing but study of embryonic development and other development process after birth. We call it as developmental biology. So, first we are going to deal with the development of the embryo, and once the baby has taken birth, after birth also you have to see the development process of the baby. That we call it as developmental biology. It includes both pre and post. So, pre one we are going to deal with the embryology, and post one we are going to deal with the developmental biology, which includes pre as well. Okay. Now the next one is evolution. E means out, vulva means roll. So it is nothing but unfolding. Evolution is nothing but unfolding. It is the study of origin of life. So evolution shows the origin of life. What is the origin of earth? What is the origin of universe? Or what is the origin of life? Non-cellular or cellular. All these things you are going to study in the chapter evolution, right? It is a continuous genetic adaptation of the organism to their environment, right? Evolution is a gradual change. Class, just now I told you, if there is a species and you have given a harsh condition, the nature has given the harsh condition, this organism will start dying. But some of its species will be surviving because they have adapted and formed species number 2, another species. So this will not happen on the spot. It takes years and years. These years and years are nothing but gradual changes. On the spot, there won't be any change. There you will see the gradual change in the living organism over the geological time. What is this geological time? You will study in the chapter evolution. No need to study now, right? Now, what is the scope of evolution? Why we have to deal with it? We are able to see how organism evolution takes place and how they are able to adapt through their genetic change. Class, how this species 1 has changed into species 2. There is a change in their gene, because gene is responsible for the production of protein. So if there is change in the gene, that kind of protein is formed in the body, which will help organism to survive in the extreme condition, right? Now, term origin. The term organic evolution is coined by Herbert Spencer. All these names are very, very important, class. Now the next one is paleontology. Paleontology is nothing but when we deal with the fossils. Paleo means ancient and onta means being, logy means study. So the study of fossilized remains of the organisms of past geological age. When I say remains, class, remain is nothing but your bones. Why bone? Because if I talk about the flesh is going to be decomposed by the microorganism, but bone takes millions and millions of years. So we are going to do carbon dating, and many other processes are there. One of the example is carbon dating. From the carbon dating, we can find the age of the fossil. Okay, what is Paleobotany. Paleobotany is nothing but when we do study of the fossil of the plant. Paleozoology, study of the fossil of the animal, right? Examination of the history of life on the earth includes studying fossils to understand. What do we understand by doing this study of the fossils? We understand the evolution of the organism. We understand the interaction between the organism. If I'm going to get fossil number 1 and fossil number 2, I'm going to study the interaction between these two. Just now I told you that all the cells and all the living organisms, how they are able to survive by the interactions between organisms and their environment. So what all things we study? Evolution of the organism, interaction between one organism to other organism, and interaction between organism to the environment, right? Now the next one is ecology. What is ecology? Eco means house, logy means study. So study of living organism in relation to their other living organism related to the environment. Okay, ecology is nothing but when we study living organism interaction with the environment, we call it as ecology. So what does it focus? It focus on the study of the living organism in relation with the other living organism. That means biotic factor. What is the meaning of biotic factor, class? Bio means life. That means related with the biotic factor, and other one is the abiotic factor. So how living organism is going to relate with the biotic one, and how living organism is relate with the abiotic one. For example, how we are related with the mountain, snows. These are all abiotic one. Obviously, we are doing interaction with them, right? Now, what is the scope of it? Examine interaction between the organisms and their environment, and includes biotic and abiotic component of the ecosystem. The term ecology was coined by Haeckel. Very, very, very important, class. The term ecology. Who gave the ecology term? That was given by the Haeckel. So here you can see example of some of the biotic component, and here you can see example of the abiotic components. Now the next one is genetics. Genetics, the word itself says gene. That means we do the study of gene. When I say study of gene, that means automatically inheritance and heredity comes in the picture. Inheritance and heredity and variation. 1, 2 and 3. Three words automatically come into the picture, that is inheritance, heredity and variation. In the previous class, I asked you what is the difference between inheritance and heredity. I gave you two definitions and asked you which one is inheritance and which one is heredity. So class, inheritance is nothing but the process. How do I remember? IP. Inheritance is the process of transfer of character from one generation to another generation. Then what is heredity? Heredity is transfer of character. Process, when I say, it is inheritance. Transfer, only transfer occurs in the heredity. Then what is variation? Variation is nothing but difference. How one organism, suppose this is the parent organism and this is the daughter organism. This is daughter cell. Okay, so what is the difference between parent and daughter? We call it as variation. Look at yourself. When you see yourself, you are not the exact copy of any of your parent, right? Probably your nose is similar to your father, your ear is similar to your mother, so you have variation, right? You are not the exact copy of your parents. How this happens? Due to gene recombination. Okay, now Betson coined the term genetics. Again, a very important scientist name. So one was the Haeckel and second one was the Betson. Okay, what are the sub branches? Again, the last one, I think, ethology. That is the 10th one. Etho means character. Ethology is the scientific study of animal behavior. So look at yourself, how you are behaving. That is what we call it as ethology. Jokes apart, ethology is nothing but study of animal behavior. How animal behaves. What in behavior? What do we want to understand? We want to understand about their habit. We want to understand about their habitat. We want to understand about their food eating pattern, right? So all these things we will study in the ethology. It focuses systematically observing, recording and analyzing the behavior of the animal in the natural environment. Naturally, with you how it is behaving, it's none of anybody's business, right? Naturally, how the animal is behaving, that's what we are going to study in ethology. It pays special attention in physiology, ecology and evolutionary. So all these three are interlinked when we study about the ethology, right? So that's all we have in today's class. Thank you.